Well guys, how we doing? It's Chris here, bringing you guys another video. Let you take a peek of the outside aviary. It's sun's starting to go down. Don't know how good the lighting is there for you guys, but wanted to let you see all the birds outside. Got quite a few of them here. We'll definitely be thinning out some more of the zebra finches. I sold probably about 60% of my babies. So now I just have the original breeding pairs in there and a few of the babies I wanted to keep. There's a couple other ones that I think I'll probably end up selling. Then we had some baby Javas come through that we'll probably end up selling a couple of those. And then I have quite a few Goldian finch pairs that I'll be holding on for this next breeding season. And I've thrown out most of my canaries in hopes that maybe we could get something going with them here with this warmer weather and longer daylights. So just wanted to show you guys out there real quick. We'll give you a little peek of the bird shed inside. Mikey here, I did end up putting him with the female cockatiel Lucy. Her wings still have not grown back yet, so she tries to fly, doesn't quite make it, so she's got to climb back up, and then she'll sit there with Mikey. Mikey's been really sweet to her. She's been a good bird, so happy with that. Not sure if we'll get anything out of him. Mikey's pretty old. I don't know if he'd even be fertile, but we'll try it if they allow this year. But so one thing I wanted to focus on, probably on the next video, what I'm gonna do, and I apologize, it's a little messy in here, I haven't cleaned it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab most of my cages, my indoor cages, outdoor cages, and we're gonna go over a huge segment of just what type of cage should you be using for your birds. And I think hopefully that will answer a lot of questions for several people out there who are wanting to keep birds inside or wanting to keep birds outside. Either or, will give you the cage dimensions and size, what types of birds would go best in those cages, that sort of thing. So I think that's what we're gonna do on the very next video coming up. But today I wanted to do something a little bit different. Mikey wants me to play with him. He's like, come on, man. I kind of have a DIY cage that I had built several years ago, and it's been a little while since I've used it. And I think what I want to do is my 3 male Goldian finches that are molting out, which I'm going to do a follow-up video on that because they are molting out perfectly. We'll do a follow-up video on them soon, but I think I'm going to put these guys out in this DIY cage that I've built. And it may not work for everyone, but anyone who has a basement in their house, if anyone doesn't know what a basement is, that's where your house is basically under the ground. It's below ground level. And so when they do that, what they do, if you have windows in your basement, they dig what's called a window well. And I'll show you. And what I did with that window well is I created a little makeshift bird cage. And I've done some videos in the past for it. And but I don't know how much you guys have seen, but I'll get you to it and we'll show you that DIY cage. Had some kids coming, had to help them. Got to be a dad too, right? So we'll come over here, show you guys what I'm talking about, and give you an idea of what I've done. And I need to spice it up because it's been a couple years since I've used it. So this right here is called a window well. So we have our basement, or the second part of our house is below ground level. So what they do, for us to have a window, they dig out what's called a window well, right? And so we go down there, and usually nobody ever does anything with them. You put a grate over it so your kids don't fall down. The main purpose of it is just so that you can have light down in the basement of your house. But what I did is I turned it into a bird cage. So I put screen over here. This part I need to fix up. I had some plexiglass over there so that they could go underneath there, get away from the rain or anything if it rains. I usually only keep the birds out here in the summertime so that I don't have to do anything for winter because it'd be too cold. But this is perfect because you know, when the sun comes up in the morning, they get full sunlight here all the way up until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then the sun goes down in the evening and it's nice and cool down here in the hot summertime. And it'll just be a perfect place to throw my male Goldians. So we'll pop this open, and it's on there pretty snug, but we'll pop that open so you can look down. There's the plexiglass that fell down. We've got plants growing down in there. That's probably from the bird seed from last time, and some, excuse me, and some old bird plate or bird dishes that we'll clean it all up. We'll put it back together, get all that cleaned up, rinse off all the rocks down there, get that cleaned up. I think I have some old button quail eggs in there because I had button quails in there at one point. So we'll get all this cleaned up, and I won't show you. I probably won't be able to get to putting the birds in this until a little bit later, because it's still springtime. Still gets a little chilly in the afternoons and evenings, and I don't want the birds to get too cold out here, especially with them molting. So we'll get it all set up and prepared, and then I'll add some clips later on with the birds in here. So this is a little idea. So one thing I did is, let me pull this out so I can get it to lean up against the house here. This is a really heavy steel grate. So right here is where my window opens up, and I created a little door right there. So I open up the window, lift that door up, and then I can feed the birds. And then this just stays on top, and I have it sealed off with the wire, and then I put the plexiglass up there to keep it sealed. And then I have a little lock mechanism that I do so that no one can open up this grate from the outside, and you can only open it up from the inside. So so that'll be awesome. Excited to get it going. One cool thing about it is, you know, you sit down in your family room with your family, watch some TV or play, you lift up the blinds, and you have some beautiful birds that you can just sit there and watch. And it's really fun. The birds usually, I usually leave the blinds down so they can see there's something there, so they don't run into the window. And usually after about 1 or 2 days, they get used to it, and they don't ever run into the window. So we're gonna spice this thing up. And I'll show you guys the after product of it, and we'll get to it. May not be till tomorrow till I can get to it, just because the sun's going down, it's getting late. But we'll spice it up, put some plants in there. We'll leave these plants in here, let the birds eat them. This is all just plants from their seed from last year. It was the last time I'd used this, so we'll clean it up, get it nice and pretty for everyone to look at, and we'll get it going. We'll kind of zoom out and give you a good look. So the measurements of this are 6 feet deep, 6 feet wide, and about 4 feet out. So yeah, so I think we're it's about a perfect little cage. Gets them some good exercise. They can fly up and down, they can fly across. Got some good perches up here that are close to the top, so they can get as close to that sunlight as they can. A couple other perches that we'll throw up that are falling down, all that. So just a cool little DIY cage that we created, and we can enjoy them from inside your home and open up the window, listen to them sing. I have had canaries in here, and they sing all the time, and it's just beautiful. It's a fun little cage, and has been a good idea. So if anyone has a house like this, you know, that's an option for you, and it's super cheap. You know, I think I probably spent a total of maybe 15 bucks. I had some extra wire left over that I threw on it. I had some old plexiglass that I cut out to shape that so that would fit, and then I made my own little shelves here and put in. So really didn't cost me that much. Probably the biggest construction that I had was building this little wooden frame and putting wire on it so that would fit my windows. So that's what we got. Kids are calling, so we'll go help them out. All right, guys, we're back. It's actually a couple days later. It got dark too soon the other day, so we ended up getting the plexiglass put up on there, so that'll protect them from any rain or anything. They can come sit underneath these shelves or on the perch there. If it rains or storms, it'll protect them, keep them out of the weather. You don't have to worry about wind down here. It's not how our house is watch out, buddy. How our house is positioned, it doesn't get super windy, so my little boy wants to be on the video. So we got it all sprayed out, went down there, got all stuff cleaned out. I'm gonna leave these plants in here, let the birds gnaw on them. They're not poisonous to them, and they're from the bird seed, so I think we'll be all right there. It's all wet. I just sprayed it all down and got everything wet. So I think I'll put those 3 Goldians in here. Either that, or I might throw a pair of parakeets in here. We'll see what we decide. I'm not quite sure yet, but it's ready to go and ready to get some birds in there. We'll let it dry up for the next couple days, get it nice and dry and clean, and then we'll think about putting some birds. I still might wait maybe a couple weeks because it's still getting pretty chilly at night, and I don't want the birds to get too cold. So we'll see what happens. So hopefully you guys like it. We'll show you the final result with the birds in there, whether I decide to throw the new Goldians that I got, or a pair of parakeets or something like that. Let them breed in here. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and give you some creative ideas for maybe taking some empty space like this that doesn't ever get used and turn it into a little miniature aviary that you can enjoy. So I know we have, and every summer I spice it back up and throw some birds in there for a couple months, and it's really nice and fun to enjoy. So hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll get back to you with when we get the birds in here. Okay, so originally I created this window well DIY cage for my Goldian finches, for my 3 males here that are molting out very nicely. But I've changed my mind, and I think I'm gonna have it for my parakeets. So we're gonna throw the 3 pairs in there. It's plenty big for them. Let them get some good exercise. Let them get some outside, get some natural sunlight. I did have to wait a little while for it to warm up enough so that nighttime's not cold and they won't die. So I think now we're warm enough to where I haven't been running my heater at night, trying to acclimatize these guys, so that in the nighttime it won't be a shock for them. Daytime we're getting pretty warm, so I think we're good enough and we're safe to take them out. So we're gonna introduce those pairs into the flight. So one thing I did do is I do have them all separate. So I have these guys, and then my other pair here. And I've had them in individual pairs for about a month now, in hopes that they will pair up, because I will be having these guys all together out in this cage, and the hopes are that these guys have paired up and they will stay paired up in this new cage, because they'll all be together. But it'll add some really fun colors to the cage. Parakeets are beautiful birds. We got a good variety. You know, we have our wild type green. We have what we call the sky blue. You know, it looks like clouds and blue sky. And then we have our albino and our normal blue here. And so I think we got a really good variety of colors and mixtures. And so I think it'll be fun. It'll add for a fun summertime for us. The kids will be able to go outside and enjoy them. When they're downstairs playing in our basement, they'll be able to watch out the window and enjoy them that way also. So without further ado, we'll get them caught and we'll get them out into the cages. All right, guys, we have my first pair of parakeets here. We're gonna let them go. We got it all cleaned up in here, all nice. Got nest boxes up in there. We got to add one more. Good flying area. It's good 6 feet by 6 feet. So got some fresh greens here for them to eat. They're gonna enjoy it. So let's let them out. Get them some good flying time here. We'll go get the other pairs. And guys, this is the final product. This is why we have birds. The kids love them. I love them. They're beautiful. They're fun to have. They keep us entertained. You can't get any better than this. So now the kids can play downstairs and see the parakeets and hang out with them and be able to interact with them. And so I think that's something that's really fun. And so got the males up there. They're establishing some dominance between themselves. It's a new area. They're all together. We got females in their presence. We got a couple of our females down there eating some of the grass. So, and my little daughter say hi. Having fun. So appreciate you guys watching this. We'll step back so you can see kind of the whole view of it. Nice big aviary DIY cage that we've created. So hope you guys enjoyed this.